It's already hot, but luckily I'm gonna go work in the air conditioning. Today we're going to go do another client's kitchen, and so I went to Dollar Tree. I got some of my favorite kitchen organizers, and now we are headed over there and we're gonna get started on her kitchen, and so that we can make it a functional space for her. So I decided to bring you along with me today so that you would see what you would get if you decided to hire me as an organizer at your house. So I have my boxes all packed up. I've got my organizers all packed up. I've got my kids, because they have kids around the same age as mine. So I'm bringing them with me and they're gonna play in the backyard while I do the kitchen. So it's gonna be super fun.
This family had bought a fixer-upper back in 2022, 23, somewhere around there. And they bought an old rental property. And you know, whenever at rental properties, you get the landlord special sometimes. Well, luckily for her, her husband is a super handy man and can fix about anything with more than just duct tape like my husband can. No, I'm just kidding. So their goal is to eventually renovate this kitchen. But for now, she is a stay-at-home homeschool mom of 3 little kids and has become overwhelmed with how much things have just accumulated in their house. So part 1 of renovating a kitchen is to pare down some things so that you can actually get to the kitchen to renovate it. So that's what we're doing today. She does have some systems in place, but I think the biggest problem here was the lack of zoning, not as so much of just space. Of course, with things being super full and not having a specific home, they end up on the counter because you're like, I don't know where this goes. I don't know if it has a home, because I'm a firm believer in if something has a home, it's more likely to go back to that. So we just have to designate these places to be a home. Of course, I also look at this all as inventory. You know, a stay-at-home mom is a full-time job, and so she's got a lot of inventory here that she has to manage. And as the owner of her home business there, or in a theoretical home business, by the way, she has a lot of inventory here. And on top of just this kitchen, she also has like 3 bedrooms or a playroom and all of that other inventory that she has to manage on top of homeschool inventory. And we all know that that gets really overwhelming very quickly. I struggle with that in my own home. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to first categorize, minimize, and then organize. Just like I do in all of my other organizational videos, this is our 3-step process, and I do most of it. And so I'm going to take you along with me and kind of explain the thought process of what I'm doing for each of these steps. But I wanted to go ahead and give you an overall tour of her this is not a bathroom, this is a kitchen, her kitchen before and after, so that you can see the big transformation. And the transformation is unbelievable, so you definitely want to stick around to the very end to see the results. So like I said before, the first step is to categorize. That's whenever I take everything out and put it into different categories into these giant bins. I start with what's in the cabinets first, because the things on the countertops are most likely what we use the most, but they just don't have a home because the inside of the cabinets are so full of things that we don't use very often. That way, the next step is going to be a whole lot easier for the client, because we're making easier decisions on things that kind of got forgotten about in the back of the cabinet. Once everything is categorized into these macro categories, we can then categorize it into micro categories. So at this point, most of the cabinets were empty, and we started with 1 bin at a time. And then I separated into micro categories so that she and I could kind of pare down on each category, which helped her make easy decisions because she realized how many of each item she had. And just like that, we got rid of everything in that clear tote, and on the left there, you'll see the bin of all the cups that we did keep. I was so proud of her for those decisions. It really started the momentum so that we were able to get rid of a lot more. We got started on the next tote and the next tote after that until we had all of the totes almost half empty. During this process, I did ask quite a few questions, like how often do you actually use wooden spoons? How often do you need 15 spatulas? You know, it was just different things like that. And a lot of times we came across a single single use item. For instance, a fish flipper. And I said, well, what says that this regular spatula can't flip a fish just as well as the fish flipper spatula? I can't say fish flipper very many times, but that's the kind of questions you ask is, okay, am I going to actually reach for these things? How often do I actually cook fish? Or do I really have something that wouldn't work for the same process? I actually heard her say so many times, well, that's for if I was a cool mom, if I was a better homeschool mom or something like that. And honestly, that means that these things are really bullying her. They're saying you're not doing enough, you're not accomplishing enough as a homeschool mom. So I wanted to get those negative bullies out of there. For instance, was the containers. She had saved a lot of the old ham containers to use for a different project for homeschooling, which is a really great idea, but that's our fantasy self. That's not our reality. But also in reality is once she has some of this clutter off of her literal counter, then she'll also be able to declutter her mind and then maybe be able to do more of those fun, cool homeschool things that she wants to do because she's not constantly maintaining the inventory that she has in her kitchen. Another thing that I noticed a lot is we had bought something to replace something, but still had the original one. So for instance, those red pots, you can kind of see a slight color difference. It's because she had one set, it started chipping, so they bought another set, but still kept the old set. And then we realized, hey, we don't actually need the old one. Let's make space for the things that we do want to keep. Once we conquered all of the bins, we started working on the other cabinets that couldn't fit into the bins, like the mug cabinet. At this point, we were on the final stretch and we were almost there. This is how much we had gotten rid of already. 2.5 bins completely full. At this point, I could start cleaning off the top of the fridge and the counters to start either adding it to the macro categories that we have in the keep bins or to the get rid of pile. We start to see some real progress and are able to wipe down some of the nooks and crannies that haven't been wiped down in a while because things landed there, and then we can start truly putting things away. And this is where the step 3 comes in, organize. And this is where we start to incorporate the zoning part. So zoning means that we're going to designate certain cabinets for certain things based on where we do that. For instance, the everyday use dishes should be above the dishwasher. The lunch prep things should all be together where we prep lunch, which for her was on this little peninsula that she has in her kitchen. And this is where she also got to pick my brain as to how to put them away. Where is only the first step. How to put it away is also very important because you want it to be as easy to put it away as it was to drag it out. But I also had to pick her brain as to which items that she uses the most often as opposed to the items that she uses the least often, because we want the least often used items to be in the back and the most items used in the front so that we can easily access them anytime we need them. And slowly but surely we started to empty out each one of those bins and put them away in a nice organized way. Then I could conquer the last couple of cabinets that wouldn't be able to fit in any of those categories so that I didn't leave one stone unturned for clutter to hide under. So now you might be wondering, if I just explained all of my steps to you, why would you hire me to come do your house? So let me explain. Number 1, I'll save you time and energy. Most people don't realize how overwhelming it is to organize their entire home. Instead of spending weeks or even months trying to figure it out, I can come in with a plan and get it done quickly and efficiently. Yes, this kitchen did take me 11 hours to finish. But as I was telling my client is that organizing and decluttering is a muscle that you have to exercise. And I started with my own house about 7 years ago and have been working on decluttering and organizing my house and churches ever since. Number 2, I bring a fresh and unbiased perspective. When it's your own stuff, it's hard to see the clutter or make decisions about what to keep, toss, or donate. I'm here to guide you without judgment and help you make choices that feel good. And yes, I was tough on my client for this declutter, but I didn't take everything away right away. I told her, I'm gonna leave all this stuff here, and whenever you're ready, you take it to the thrift store, so that if she decided to keep anything, it was still there. But if she goes a week without missing anything, then that is definitely her cue to start taking it to the thrift store and forget all about it and just feel the physical and emotional and mental weight flow off of her. Number 3 is I make the process stress-free. Decluttering and organizing can feel emotional and exhausting and overwhelming.
I can handle the parts and keep the process calm, supportive, and even fun.
And this is where body doubling came into play. Because I was there, she was able to make a little bit more tougher decisions. I was encouraging her. I wasn't pressuring her to actually get rid of anything that she really didn't want to. But at the same time, I was there to kind of put a little bit of peer pressure on her to make decisions that maybe she wouldn't have made on her own. Number 4, you get results that last. When people try to DIY, maybe they'll get it right and maybe it'll end up with a Pinterest perfect look, but that's not sustainable. I focus on sustainable solutions so your home stays functional and beautiful.
In case you're wondering, yes, this is the same person that hired me to do their bathroom. And yes, I did sneak in there to check. And yes, it did still look amazing. And I'm so proud of her. So if you want me to help you fall in love with your home again, it's not just about tidying up, it's about transforming your space into somewhere you love to be and relax, and want results just like these, then email me today, find me on Facebook, we'll get it done together, and it'll be a place that you love to come home to every single day. But for now, just enjoy these end results and see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.